Right now, I will not tell you who the killer is in Harper's Island. Because CBS would kill me. And with a little luck, we'll get out of here in time that you can see tonight. So, that's it. Okay, well, I'm fairly used to getting up in front of Supernatural fans and talking, but I'm not terribly used to getting up and talking about my book, but that's why these guys have me here. So they probably like to sell one or two. But anyway, for anyone who doesn't know, my book Life That Way is based on a settle down.
Breathe.
I bet you weren't expecting laughs tonight. The book is based on an email newsletter / journal that I wrote in 2003-2004. It was a way of keeping family and friends up to date with what was going on with my family. In August of 2003, my 2-year-old daughter Maddie was diagnosed as autistic, and about 6 weeks later, my wife Cecily Adams was diagnosed with lung cancer. And the first day that we had that information, I spent something like 14 hours on the phone talking to family and friends and telling them what was going on, bringing them up to date. And I realized really quickly I couldn't spend 14 hours a day on the phone with everybody, and at the same time go back and forth to the hospital and take my daughter to therapy and shoot deadwood, which is what we were in the middle of right then. And yet everybody wanted to know, everybody said, call me tomorrow and tell me what happened. Call me tomorrow and tell me what's going to happen. And I knew I couldn't do that, so I began writing an email to 100, 200 family and friends every night just to keep them up to date. But after the first few days, there wasn't something happening every day. There wasn't something that needed to be reported every day. So I began to write more and more kind of unconsciously about what this whole experience was like. And so what the days were like, regardless of whether any big news event happened. And I decided pretty early that I wanted to be real open. That if I was going to write to people about what we were going through, I didn't want to cover up. I didn't want to act like, oh, everything's hunky-dory, we're going to get through this fine, and don't worry about us. And I didn't want to write that we weren't scared. And I guess that's not all that common. A lot of people in our culture at least feel that, if you're going through hard times, you should probably keep it to yourself as much as you can and be brave and tough it out. And I don't agree with that. I really don't agree with it now that I've been through that year and I've talked to other people who've been through similar events. I believe there's something really incredibly helpful to you and to the people around you when you express your deepest fears and feelings and longings, and so that's what I began to do. Well, something about that, I guess, rang a bell with people, because people started forwarding my emails to other people, and those people started forwarding them to other people, and I started getting emails back from people I didn't know. And I didn't know at first why this was happening, but then they'd say, well, so-and-so's sister got this, and she sent it to me, and I sent it to some friends, and based on the email I was getting back, after about a month or a month and a half, I realized there were about 4,000 people reading this every night around the world. I was getting messages about prayer circles being held for Cecily in Zambia, and we were we were getting emails, messages, even gifts and things from people in Australia and New Brunswick, and it was pretty amazing. I even to this day am a little puzzled by the response, but I can't deny it. And as this went on, my friends and some of these strangers too began to suggest that at some point I might want to consider turning this into a book. I thought that was crazy, but I heard it a lot, and eventually long after, a couple of 3 years after that year's journal ended, I decided that maybe it wasn't such a bad idea. A friend I had known for 25 years, a friend I had known for 20 years, came up to me. Somebody I knew but didn't know intimately. It was just a friend from work. And she said, I want to talk to you about this journal of yours. She said, 25 years ago, so 5 years before I met her, she said, 25 years ago, I lost my husband and my son within 6 weeks. And she said, it's 25 years now and I have never talked to anybody about it. I just don't talk about it. And she said, because of your journal, I started talking to people, and it has changed my life. And I want to thank you. Well, I still didn't quite get it, but then I got it, you know. I figured if it meant something to her, if it clearly could mean something to a lot of people, and that sort of changed my mind about turning this very private experience, private even though I was sending it out to 4,000 people every night, into something a lot more public. So it's I want to read a couple of selections from it. It's because I haven't done this before, I haven't quite figured out how much I need to tell you. Most of you guys probably know how Cecily's illness turned out, and a lot of the book is about the aftermath of her illness and how my daughter and I confronted the issues that faced us then. So, you all know who Cecily was, and if you're the fans, I guess. Yes, Cecily Adams she was not only my wife, she was also the daughter of Get Smart star Don Adams, Maxwell Smart. And she had her own big fan following as Moogie on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. So, but I liked her without the rubber head. So they tried to get me to put the rubber head on the cover, and I couldn't. If I put my glasses on, I'll be able to actually see what I'm reading.